day 4. Tell us the plan.
Okay, so we're gonna walk up to Bull Spring,
Which is the same meadow that we were in day 1.
The same meadow we scouted and then set up on day 1 night. We're gonna do the same thing, but before we set up, got a lot of daylight so we can walk over that mountain peak and do some spot and stock.
Yep, we saw some fresh sign when we went off the Elliott Barker Trail. So we're gonna, these two are going to go over that top, still hunting through there, see what they can find, and then I am going to skirt the meadow and the stuff below it and see what kind of sign I can find there, and then we'll meet up and make a plan for where we want to set up on the meadow for tonight. So, good to go?
Yep.
All right, let's hit it. So we made it to the edge of the mountaintop meadow. We found Bull Spring, which is not much of a spring. There is some water under that lid in there, but there was a dead mouse in there, so I don't think anything's drinking that. And so Sarah and Zane are going to get the wind in their favor, and they're going to still hunt over this knob behind us, because we saw plenty of sign on the off side of that on the first day. And then I'm going to go around, skirt the edge of this clearing and see what I can find from a sign perspective. And then we're going to meet up at 3:30 and come up with a plan for setting up for the night. lots of elk hair here, but I would think a little bit too much to be a bed site. I've definitely never seen a deer bed with that much hair in it. That's interesting though. There are some older elk prints in this snow here. And as you can see, you're right off of the meadow. I'm gonna guess it's an old kill site, but I don't know. That seems odd to me. Oh my goodness. I heard something moving around in here. And I was standing still trying to hear it move. And then I had a mule deer buck working around me to try to get upwind. And he did. I didn't see him till he blew. And then did his little antelope hop away. Let me see if I can find where he was standing. Better to go this way. He had some nice antlers on him too. At least from what I saw as he went through the woods. There's some fresh mule deer scat right there. I must have been right in his bed. Let's see if I can find some prints. Oh man, it's covered in mule deer poop back here. Yeah, I don't think I see any in the snow. And that's the only place I would see them. Oh, here he is. He was standing right here when he wheeled away. Looks like he walked in right here. Yep. Print, 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 print. So he came through here until he was standing right there and got a view of me right through there. Well, that's pretty cool. Not an elk. I'm kind of glad it's not an elk. I'd feel bad if I busted an elk. But there are old elk prints in the snow right there. Alright. Let's keep going. They might not be super fresh, but there have been elk in here, and they look to be moving towards the meadow. So really what I'm looking for is kind of a consolidation of sign about where they may be coming out into the meadow or leaving the meadow. Or really just in general, fresh sign to know that they're still in here. You see scat in here, and then you look at how thick it is, and you wonder how an animal like that can get through this. But I guess if that's what you're doing for a living, it's not that big of a deal. Like, that's literally a wall in there. Jeez. Okay, so I've been following just inside the tree line here, and I found kind of two places that I think they're conglomerating to head into the meadow. The first one was where I found all that hair, and then there seems to be another one here. There's multiple trails that appear to come together, and then it gets wide open and there's lots of droppings, and it looks pretty trampled down coming out here. So I gotta take note of this and make sure Zane can shoot this place when it comes time to set up. These predator prints are killing me. You can see them all up there. I'm guessing another bobcat. That's kind of how it looks. I mean, it made some Mountain Dew snow here. There's a lot of them out here. It's pretty crazy. I'm not used to that in Ohio. This is about where Zane and I saw the two elk the day before season opened. We had just come out in that gap right there in the pine trees and looked down this way, and there was a cow and her calf, large calf obviously, somewhere right in here. It was right at last light. Like, had it been season, there might have been 5 more minutes of legal shooting light. And I don't think they knew exactly what we were. Like, we knelt down immediately. They stood there a while and craned their heads like deer do, trying to figure out what we were, and then eventually trotted off down into here. So I've almost gone all the way around the meadow, but I'm gonna take a little extra time as I go down in here and see what I see, since we absolutely saw 2 elk run in here. Okay, so this is the freshest elk footprint that I've seen to date. Most of them have been, you can tell they'd been there a little bit. They'd frozen and thawed a couple times. But there's some prints in here that have been here very, very recently. So, and looks to be some one consistent trail going back there. So I'm gonna hop out of here and keep checking this edge. But I think I know which direction I'm gonna pay attention to the most. Yep, not even close. By far the freshest footprints that I've seen. I love snow. It does such a great job of letting you judge the age. With all the needles and the dry ground up here, we were having a bit of a hard time trying to estimate how young or old the footprints were, but the snow helps a lot. Okay, as you can see, day 4 was mule deer day. Learned a lot though. If I had to do it again, I would have done that little scouting mission on the edge of the meadow after day 1, or before we set up on day 1. Learned a ton from that. I really, if I had another day, would have liked to go down that one super heavy trail just to see where it would lead us. Would have been really cool to still hunt our way in there. We did not end up getting to that on day 5, as you'll see coming up. But if I had to say I had one regret, that was probably it, that we didn't get back to that and dig a little deeper in there from a still hunting perspective to see what we could find. But learned a lot of good stuff to see, and it's always cool to see the mule deer even if you don't have a tag for them. So stay tuned and we'll show you what happened on day 5.